2012 Lexus RX350. There's a million videos online to show you how to get the stereo out, so we're not going to cover that. What we were after was the navigation unit. Mitchell does not show where the navigation unit is, and none of the sources online showed me where the navigation unit is, so here you go. Save you a whole bunch of time. That is your navigation unit right there. It's not marked navigation. If you order a new navigation unit, the sticker must match what you're after. Shifter, right in front of the shifter, down low, and there's a couple 4 bolts on a bracket that don't look like a lot of fun to get out, but there's your navigation unit right there. It is 100% possible to get it in and out without having to pull the shifter cable off of here, okay? The thing mounts on 4 brackets, 1, 2, and 2 way down low. They are the additional pulls down here in the shifter. Let me see if I can get you there. Way back there. So there's one here, there's one there. So you have to take all 4 of those nuts off, and you have to pull the shifter back. I pulled these and these screws so that you can manipulate it. I found it easier to, once the bracket was loose, to reach back there and unplug everything, just so, because the wires seemed really tight initially. So I unplugged everything using a pick tool to push down on some of these and work them out. Came out real easy. The shifter pushes back really good, except for that one right there. That's where the cable hangs it up. And so that's kind of your pain in the rear end. What I did was I pulled it off so that this one was off. That bottom one kind of comes and goes. This was off, and the bottom one down there was off. And this was underneath. Put this down. So this bracket right here was underneath this bracket and behind it. And once I had everything off, then the one way down there is your pain in the rear end, and you got to kind of manhandle it and bend it a little bit as it comes out, and same thing going back in. It's not a lot of fun, but you can get it without having to completely remove this shifter. And you don't need to remove the center console, which is what I was working on to try and remove the shifter when I finally got a little more brutal, and ta-da! All right, so probably the easiest way to troubleshoot the navigation system in these RX350s from the year range that this fits. Number one, obviously check the fuses, pull the fuses, and inspect them, put them back in. I say pull and inspect because too many times it's easy to overlook a bad fuse or a marginal fuse or legs that aren't making proper contact. So pull the fuse, look at the fuse. And I believe in this case, there's 6 fuses, if I remember correctly, 3 under the hood and 3 in this fuse box that's upside down under the dash. The next way would be to hook your scan tool up and try and communicate with the nav unit. If you can't communicate with the nav unit, there's a pretty good possibility that, probability that, unless somebody's been in here doing an aftermarket stereo, something like that, then you need to dig deeper into the wiring. But chances are, if you can't communicate with the navigation unit and all your fuses are good, that you're going to need a new navigation unit. And keep in mind the numbers on the new navigation unit must match exactly to the numbers on the existing navigation unit. Other telltale signs will be that this screen is completely black, absolutely nothing happens. Here you will have the theft light blinking, and you'll have the passenger seat coming on over here, but you will have absolutely no control over any of these buttons here. The radio, none of this will work. You'll be able to use your scan tool, if you've got a decent scan tool, to control fan speed to tell you that this portion is okay. so you could be able to control fan speed, but all the rest of this is dead, and it says navigation. You can't find navigation on your scan tool. At that point, you can be about 99% certain that your navigation unit has gone kaput, belly up, and it's time for a new nav unit in order to get all this stuff working to factory specifications.